I'm going to try investigating some more scam movie streaming services. You already know what this series is about by now, so I'm not going to do an introduction. I'm just going to jump right into it. Movies123.video. This website looks exactly like realsolarmovie.com, the website I went on in the last video I made about this topic. This, which just for some clarification, I just want to say that YouTube won't let me upload the last video I made about this topic. This is what realsolarmovie.com looks like, and this is what movies123.video looks like. Again, this is what solarmovie.com looks like, and this is what movies123.video looks like. They look exactly the same. Well, I wouldn't say they look exactly the same. There's clearly some differences between the two websites. What I'm trying to say is that they generally have the same format. You can tell that they were made by the same people. I like how there's a pop-up, as you can tell right there, that claims that I can protect myself. Well, it claims that I can get premium membership like this an actual legitimate website. I also like how it's claiming that I can protect myself while I'm online. I find it funny how a website that is obviously a scam is claiming to protect me while I'm online. I find it shady how there are websites that look like each other, they have different names, and they have the same purpose of pirating movies. What happens when I try to watch something? I can actually watch stuff on this website. I can even write comments. I'm trying to be careful about how I talk about this website because YouTube won't let me upload the last video I made about this topic, and I'm guessing it was because I kept saying the website I was on, realsolarmovie.com, looked like a professional website, even though it wasn't. I find it interesting how this website has the aspects of an actual legitimate website, even though it's obviously a scam. You can write comments. They even have information about the movie itself. Someone wrote a comment right there, so you can tell that the commenting feature actually works. And it's not just like there for show, it actually works. As you can tell right there, they even have banners telling you to get premium membership. I find that interesting. I find it impressive how this website is not legitimate, yet it looks exactly like one. That's pretty shady. When you go on the sitemap, it just takes you to this really weird HTML looking website layout. I don't know how that happened. I don't know why this website looks exactly like a professional website, yet only the sitemap is pretty shady. I also want to point out that this also happened on realsolarmovie.com, the website I went on in my last video. Realsolarmovie.com had this exact same HTML sitemap thing. It's taking forever to load. RealStoryMovie.com has this exact same sitemap problem that movies123.video has. That proves that these websites are all run by the same entities, which I find interesting. When I click When I click on other brands, it recommends a bunch of these illegitimate streaming services. I like how one of the streaming services is 123 Movies. Anyone familiar with the scam movie streaming service business recognizes that name. I'm pretty sure that 123 Movies is what started this whole scam movie streaming service thing to begin with. Whenever you click on the recommended websites, it just takes you back to the original website. Literally nothing changes. It just takes you back to the original website. So those are two things that are shady about this website. The sitemap and the fact that whenever you click on one of these websites, it just takes you back to the website itself. I also want to point out that at the bottom, it has a disclaimer that says this site does not store any files on its server. It even has like a terms of service DMCA thing. This website has everything. Like I said a billion times before, I find it interesting how this website has exactly the same things that a legitimate website has. Like it has a disclaimer and terms of service, but it is obviously a scam. I know that they're doing that to make it seem like they are legitimate, but it still seems weird. It's like juxtaposition. This is reminding me of This is reminding me of a time 2 years ago where Deep Humor made a video about this scam movie streaming service called FlickZone, and it looked like a legitimate website.
Listen.
This is the FlickZone website right here. It looked like a legitimate website, but it wasn't because it was being advertised by a bunch of comment bots. The only thing that was unprofessional about the website was this right here. There's apparently supposed to be an image or something right there, but for some reason they just added the dimensions of the image. That was basically the only thing that was shady about the Flickzone website. It's kind of like the movies.123 video website I just went on. It's like the sitemap. Everything about the movies123.video website was professional, yet the only things that were shady about it was the sitemap and the fact that whenever I click on brands, it just led me back to the website. This, for FlickZone, the fact that it just displays the dimensions is like the sitemap for FlickZone, the sitemap thing. Both of those websites both share like some thing that makes them look unprofessional. cmovies.vc. This website looks exactly like cmovies.so and cmovies.co, the websites I went on in the first video I made about this topic, and the domain name is for a different country, cmovies.vc. I'm pretty sure that's a domain name for St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Looks like the website isn't up anymore. For some reason, even though this website claims to be called cmovies.vc, like it's claimed to be called cmovies.vc right here, it doesn't claim to be called that. It's called cmovies.so. It's called cmovies.so right here, and it's even called that in the URL. You can't see the URL because my screen recorder isn't picking it up, but it just changed to cmovies.so. I have no idea how that happened. In the first video I made about this topic, there are two websites, cmovies.so and cmovies.co, that looked exactly like each other. They had the same layout and everything, and I suspected that they are run by the same people. I don't know why this website's URL claims to be cmovies.vc, yet here it claims to be cmovies.so. What happens if I type in the URL myself? It just changes to cmovies.so. I didn't type in cmovies.so, I typed in cmovies.vc. It just changed for some reason. I don't know how that happened. What I find particularly strange is that this website also had cmovies.so, which is what this URL links to. What happens if I type in cmovies.so? It leads to the exact same thing. I don't know why cmovies.vc and cmovies.so are being treated like separate websites, yet when you type in the URL, they both lead to the exact same thing. I also don't know why this URL changes, like I said a billion times. I don't know how that happened. I don't know. Scam movie streaming services confuse me sometimes. Thanks for watching.